What's up guys, and welcome to the midweek marquee matchup video of this week. Again, EA released a special marquee matchup set featuring this week's Champions League and Europa League matches, and again the packs are pretty rewarding, overall being worth around 100,000 coins. The Champions League games that we have to complete are Man City versus Monaco, as well as Porto versus Juventus, and from the Europa League we have Osmanlispor versus Olympiakos and Shakhtar Donetsk versus Celta Vigo. Now let's get started with the Champions League one. Let's get started with Man City versus Monaco. The rewards are pretty similar to last week. Again, you have to have at least one player from either team. So one from Man City here and one from Monaco. And the rest, you can't have more than 6 players from either league or from any league basically. So basically it asks you to build a hybrid. You also need 5 rare players in this one and an overall rating of 79. So what I did is I used a Monaco striker who's French to basically connect 2 Premier League players, and you can see I used 2 Manchester City players. I did invest in Man City before, so I didn't have to buy them at inflated prices. For the rest of the team, I use Premier League players and La Liga players, and also some French players from the second French league, just to get some chemistry of that Varane card, who I used to get the rating up to 79. Other than that, the challenge is pretty straightforward. I think you have obviously to use some of the rare cards. And also, if you combine the leagues decently, it shouldn't be an issue to get the 90 chemistry required, and you get a premium gold players pack for this one, so a 25k play plus another 1,000 coins on top. So let's cash that in immediately and go to the next one, the Porto versus Juventus one. Again, one player from either team, plus in this case you need 4 different leagues and 3 different nationalities at least. The overall rating requirement is 78, so a little bit lower than the previous one. Now what I did to get the leagues out of the way, I used one player from Juventus, which is also a requirement, and a player from Porto, both of them being Brazilian, so I get some chemistry already from the link between them, plus 2 other Brazilian players from 2 other leagues, which knocks off the league requirement, plus obviously the 2 individual team requirements. In order to get forward, and the leagues one as well, as I said before, to get more nationalities, I basically built a La Liga team around it. So you can see this core team is fully Brazilian and the rest is full La Liga. And given that they all play in the right position, the chemistry that I get is above what is needed. You need 85 in total. I have 89, so that works perfectly. Plus the rating, we also match it perfectly with a 78 rated team. Let's submit it, and we get a 15k pack for that team, so a little bit lower in terms of value than the previous one, but that doesn't matter, as obviously we want the overall reward, which in this case is a prime gold players pack, so it's definitely worth it. Now the third game, the first from the Europa League, is Osmanlispor versus Olympiakos. Again, one player from either team, Osmanlispor and Olympiakos. And in this case, you can have at most 5 players from the same nation, and need to have a 76 rated team. Now, it was a bit unfortunate that a couple of days ago I submitted the Super League squad building challenge, so I basically got rid of all my Osmanlispor players. And as soon as this challenge here was released, Osmanlispor players were price fixed quite a bit, so I was forced, or I thought I would be forced to spend quite a few coins on buying an Osmanlispor player. But since I had some days left until this challenge expired, I just continued to do the bronze pack method, and I indeed packed a Osmanlispor player, this center mid here, in the bronze pack method, so I did not have to spend any coins on an Osmanlispor player. That's really what you should also do in case you have to complete a challenge where you need one rare player. I mean, it's not really a rare player, but a player that is price fixed and is bronze. Just try to pack him with the bronze pack method. If you do the method quite frequently, you pack around, I think, 20 to 40 new players a day, maybe more, depending on how often you do the bronze pack method every day. So there's a decent chance, especially if it's a non-rare player, to pack that player without even paying for him on the market, just by doing the bronze pack method. However, let's quickly talk about this challenge. So I need one player from Osmanlispor that we just talked about, and I need one player from Olympiakos. So I basically did a Hellas League team at the top. At the bottom, I used a couple of Brazilians, Also a Swiss player from Czech player from the Swiss league to get a little bit of chemistry from that Portuguese guy. And to include the Osmanlispor player, I just used 3 Turkish players from the Super League to get 30 chemistry at the bottom here. With that said, let's submit this team as well and focus on the last one, the Shakhtar versus Celta Vigo match from the Europa League. In this case, again, 1 player from Shakhtar, 1 player from Celta Vigo, and 6 different nationalities at least, plus an overall rating of 78. Now, obviously, the nationalities requirement is probably the most tricky part of this challenge. I did use 2 players from Shakhtar. I don't think I will need Shakhtar in any squad building challenge anytime soon, so I'm happy to give up 2 players of that team. Obviously, Dario Srna has the highest rating in that team, or one of the highest ratings, so I was happy to use him to already have a decent rating base for the team. I also used the Ukrainian player here to get 20 chemistry out of those 2 players. And then basically the core of the rest of the team is both from the Russian league and the La Liga. And I used that player from the Russian league, who is actually Spanish, to link the 2 together. So as you can see right here, I have a bunch of Russian players. From the Russian league, I have who's that, Paraguay, I think the league, the nationality is it. Yes, he's a Paraguayan player. And a Brazilian player, plus the Spanish player from the Russian league, which already gives me quite a few nationalities. And then from the La Liga, I have 2 Spanish players and an Italian player. So as you can see, the nationalities requirement is not that difficult if you use the correct leagues, though, that have a bunch of nationalities and still link perfectly together. With that said, I'm done with this one as well. Let's submit this 76 rated squad. We have a little bit more rating points than needed, but I'm fine with giving out those players. We get a premium gold, a 2 rare gold players pack, that is, plus another 2,500 coins. Plus, obviously, now we complete the overall challenge. Marquee matchups completed. And we also get the overall reward, a prime gold players pack, a 45k pack, that is. 12 players, 12 gold, 6 of them being rare. So now let's quickly move over to the store and open those packs. As you can see, I have some packs in there as well that I'll be doing in a little bit. I'm preparing for another video where I'll be featuring those packs. So for now, it's only the 5 packs that we just got from the Marquee Matchup set. Obviously, there's a bunch of nice players in packs. There is I think the FA Cup man of the matches are still out there. So the orange cards with Harry Kane being one of them. There is a new team of the week since yesterday. Not as nice as last week's team of the week, but there's still that Dybala card, for instance, is available in this week's Marquee players of the week. Plus, obviously, the upgraded cards from the 4 big leagues are out there yet, I think. I think La Liga was released just a few hours ago, so maybe we pack any one of those players. Let's start with the 2 rare gold players pack. 2 gold players, 2 of them being rare. Let's see what we can pack. No big flair, but 2 of them being rare. Obviously, we get Henderson, 82 rated player from Liverpool. Obviously, need for squad building challenges. English player who's always good to get good links from the Premier League. Plus, we get Carroll, who I already have. Let's see if I can replace him. Well, I guess he's also sellable, so I'll put him on the transfer list and sell him in a little bit. And now we have 4 more packs remaining. Let's go with the 15k packs first. Let's see what we get. Only 1 flare. That's disappointing, as we get Andres de Alessandro, former Bundesliga player, now playing in the Primera División. And he is the only rare player. So we get Seferovic plus a player from Lens. But that's all for the new players. We got a bunch of duplicates, but as I said, only 1 player being rare. Quite disappointing. We send those to the transfer list and discard the other duplicates, and obviously keep all the consumables. We get 1 super useless position modifier, 1 squad fitness card, and a bunch of rare contracts. But in terms of rare cards, I think it was a pretty disappointing pack. Let's hope we have more luck with the next one, the second Jumbo Premium Gold Pack. Again, 7 rare cards, hopefully, and again, only 1 of them being rare, as we get the Basel striker Janko as the only rare card. Another disappointing pack, guys. Obviously, the challenges weren't too expensive. I actually didn't have to spend anything. As I said, I just packed the Osmanlispor player, fortunately, after the challenge was released. But still, I wouldn't mind packing a decent player. And decent being 84 plus, I think I'd already be happy with as far as the value is concerned. What do we get? We got one Premier League player, one player from the Super League, but I just completed it anyway. And again, the only rare player is a duplicate. We send him to the transfer list though, and the other rare cards, oh, we got a bunch of contracts. That's obviously useful for some at some point, but I want players obviously right now. So we discard the Leicester kit and focus on the two big packs of this Marquee Matchup set, the Premium Gold Players Pack and the Prime Gold Players Pack. Let's start with the Premium Gold Players Pack first. So we have 3 rares in this one. Let's see, we had a bigger player. That's not too bad. 84 rated plus. It's Handanovic. That's pretty nice. We pulled Oblak last week, 87 rated player from the La Liga. Now we get 87 goalkeeper from Serie A from Inter. Handanovic, not too bad. We get another player, or 2 other players from La Liga who are rare. So I'll definitely take that pack. Anything else useful in here? We get I did the Turkish League before. I still have the Ligue 1 outstanding, so he's useful. I still have Liga NOS outstanding, so he's useful as well. It's a decent pack. Let's see how much Handanovic goes for. I doubt it's too much at the moment. Oh, it's 25 max, so he'll probably go for around 10. Yes, he goes for, well, 8 to 10, 9. Well, that's not too bad. Definitely worth doing the challenges. Pulling 87 rated Handanovic. Let's send him to the club and the only duplicate to the transfer list and focus on the last pack, the Prime Gold Players Pack. Hopefully it's also twice as amazing as the one we just had. Wouldn't mind packing 2 87 rated players for that matter. Prime Gold Players Pack, last one of this pack opening. What do we get? We get nothing, it looks like. We don't get any big player here. We get Coleman as the player who shows up, 82 rated player from Everton. Don't have him in my club yet, and I think he will be useful in the future as well because he's Irish. And I think EA will release a Irish squad building challenge for St. Patrick's Day, which comes up in March. So I'm happy to have Coleman in my club to be prepared for that event. Other than that, we have Theo Walcott, who's also useful in other challenges, and let's see what duplicates we get. Nothing really worth mentioning. I'll just list them up later. But yeah, guys, that's it for this pack opening. We get Handanovic as our best player. I'm pretty well, it's not overly happy, but it's decent happiness regarding this Marquee Matchup. We didn't invest anything in this Marquee Matchup. We had all the players in our club, and we packed players definitely being a lot of them being useful, and Handanovic being the best one of them. Let me know in the comments down below what you packed from this Marquee Matchup and what you think will be the matches in tomorrow's Marquee Matchup, because tomorrow it's Friday, so EA will release another Marquee Matchup set for this weekend. Hopefully we have most of the players already, and I will see you in that video tomorrow. See you guys.